on this?
Yeah, they'll state it. It's like 95.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for attending our school board meeting on today. I really appreciate you being here. I just want to give a disclaimer. I had a little surgery on my eyes, and so I have my shades on so that I don't scare you, because this is not the month of October. So please forgive me, but I wanted to make sure that I was here for the meeting. If I have some complications or difficulties, then I have asked my dear friend and colleague and vice chair, school board member Carol Cook, to step in and finish the meeting if I'm unable to do so. So I just wanted to share that. Thank you so much for your support. I'd like to call this meeting to order. I'll start by asking if we have any amendments to the agenda, please.
Yes, Madam Chair, we have one amendment to the agenda, and that is the addition of a non-consent item number 3, which is the request approval of the tentative agreement with the Pinellas Classroom Teachers Association. I ask that we add that particular item.
Thank you. Regarding amendments to today's agenda, I do find good cause to add a new non-consent agenda item number 3, seeking approval of the tentative agreement with the Pinellas County Classroom Teachers Association. Do we have a motion for the adoption of the agenda, please? Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Today we will have our invocation by Reverend Edward Kellum of First United Methodist Church. That will be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance and the national anthem from our wonderful, wonderful school that we have here. They also have a second song that will be introduced by the choral director. These are, excuse me, members of the Clearwater High School Chorus, and their choral director is Mrs. Rosemary Collins. If we could please stand for our invocation. Well, we do not see the pastor, so if you don't mind, you may be tied up in traffic. If you don't mind, I'll provide some words of comfort and we will move forward accordingly. We thank you for allowing us to see another day that has never been made. We thank you, more importantly, for life, health, and strength. We thank you for every teacher, administrator, and staff person who's decided to make education their career and goal. We thank each and every student who shows up to school ready and willing to learn. We thank you for the parents and for the community organizations who surround our students and our staff with love and support. We thank you, more importantly, for those who have decided to serve as the body of officials that govern over this district. We thank you for all that is going on in this world, and despite all of that, you have kept us safe, and we thank you for that. More importantly, though, we thank you for the willingness to serve. We thank you for allowing us to be of service. And we ask that you just put your hedge of protection around those who are on their way. For those that are already here, we ask that you continue to bless them and their families. We ask that you look upon this agenda as one that we want to serve the community well, and that we make decisions that are according to your will for the betterment of all people, no matter their race, color, creed, sex, religion, or sexual orientation. We thank you just for being in this present moment at this present time. In your majestic name, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the
Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you so much for having us today. I'm Rosemary Collins, the Clearwater High School Chorus Director, and these are some of my students here with me. We have another song to share with you, and it was written by Henry VIII, so it's a very old song. But it is about spending time in good company, and that is what we are doing right now with you. So this is Pastime with Good Company.
Pastime with good company, I love and shall until I die. Grudge who lost and none deny, so God be pleased, thus live will I. For my pastimes, hunt, sing, and dance, my heart is set, all goodly sport, for my comfort, who shall me must have some dalliance of good or ill, some pastimes. Company methinks then best, all thoughts and fancies to digest. For idleness is chief mistress of vices all, and who can say but mirth and play is best of all? Na na na.
That was absolutely fabulous. Thank you so very much for your songs today, particularly your second song. And again, thank you so much to the Clearwater High School Chorus. We thank you. Teachers are at the heart of everything we do at Pinellas County Schools. They work tirelessly each and every day for their students and school community, and yet rarely seek recognition for themselves. Recently, we had a chance to celebrate our teachers and the teaching profession at the 2019 Evening of Excellence, and it was an excellent evening, hosted by the Pinellas Education Foundation. It was an inspiring event recognizing the work of all the teachers of the year from each school and naming our district Teacher of the Year, Nicole Kenyatt. Let's watch highlights of the event that honored the truly remarkable teachers we have right here in Pinellas County.
Welcome to the 2019 Evening of Excellence. Welcome our 2019 Pinellas County Schools Teacher of the Year nominees.
Outstanding educators, congratulations on this well-deserved recognition. You represent the talent and passion found on your respective campuses and were carefully chosen for this role. You're a pace setter. You grow where you're planted. Your drive, your work, and your passion spur others on to love and good deeds.
You can conquer every challenge. You can face each stepping stone. Be the hero of your story.
Teachers are the heart and soul of our business and our schools. For a teacher's impact is never, never erased.
And now the winner of the 2019 Teacher of the Year fan favorite is Candace Reed.
And now it's time to name our Teacher of the Year. And the winner of the 2019 Teacher of the Year is Nicole Kingott from Plum Elementary.
Thank you, Pinellas Education Foundation. Thank you to my amazing friends, family, my wonderful Plum Pelican family. I hope that you realize how great you are, and teaching is the best.
It was such a beautiful night, and we're so thankful to Aetna for everything that they did tonight to really be able to celebrate the teachers of Pinellas County. I don't think it has sunk in, and I don't think it will ever sink in, because to be a teacher, it's a very selfless profession, and you're doing for others. There is no profession that's comparable to teaching. It's a unique experience, and you get to touch the lives of other people every single day and make a difference in the future, and what other profession can you do that?
Thank you all so very much. Yay, that's right. Yay. Thank you all so very much. And it was an absolutely wonderful evening. And I didn't know it, but I actually introduced the winner when I introduced my little piece. I didn't know I was introducing the winner, but hey, so if you want to win, let me introduce you. No, I'm just kidding. We will now have our introduction of professional and community organization representatives by Lisa M. Wolf, our public information officer.
Madam Chair, members of the board, Dr. Grego, and staff, it is my pleasure to introduce the following representatives of community and professional organizations. Representing the Pinellas Educational Support Professionals Association, Nellie Hennies. With the Pinellas Classroom Teachers Association, Mike Gandolfo. Representing SEIU and the Florida Public Services Union, Rebecca Dean and Talmadge Andrews. With the Pinellas County Council of PTAs, Cindy Ehrenzeller. And with the Pinellas Arts for a Complete Education Coalition, Dr. Victoria Hagedorn. Today we will have a presentation from Student Rights and Responsibilities. Please welcome from Clearwater High School, Madison Saul, Brain Harris Masaki, and Gabriel Timberlake.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Madison Saul. I am a senior at Clearwater High School. I am the captain of the varsity softball team, the captain of varsity golf, president of Students Against Destructive Decisions, treasurer of NHS, and historian of English National Honor Society.
I'm Gabriel Timberlake. I am also a 12th grader at Clearwater High School. I am enrolled in the ACE program. I was the captain of both the swim team and now the track team. I am the treasurer of the SGA for our senior class, and I'm a member of the NHS.
My name is Brain Harris Masake. I am the captain of the track team. I am also a member of the Civil Rights Ambassadors of Mr. Denton's class. I'm also a member of the SRNR.
As you're aware, we are here today to present Clearwater High School. Founded in 1906 with over 1,870 students enrolled, Clearwater High is a true demographic representation of Pinellas County. Our school has approximately 33% Hispanic and 19% African American students, making it one of the more diverse schools in our region. In 2018, we attained an almost 96% graduation rate, and we are pushing for 98% this year. Our top 3 seniors in the class of 2018 had the highest GPAs in all of the district and would have been valedictorian at any other school. We earned a B designation from the state of Florida, and as a result of our efforts, we have been named a model school from the International Center of Leadership 3 times. CHS has been given centennial status from the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools as a result of over 100 years of tradition and accreditation.
We have also been named the most rigorous school in Pinellas County by the Washington Post 2 years in a row. This designation was based upon the amount of students we have enrolled in rigorous and upper-level coursework, which includes ACE, dual enrollment through both Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University and St. Pete College, and advanced placement classes.
We have 2 district applications programs, ACE, which is a Cambridge International Examinations, and the CAKE, which is a Career Academic of International Culture and Commerce. These 2 programs are highly selected and provide students a diverse background in business and highly rigorous coursework. Also, so you are aware, any of our students can take the ACE curriculum if they qualify and have more ACE tests taken than any other high school. Clearwater High School has a ton of extracurricular activities, including over 45 student clubs, 19 sports teams, including lacrosse, and outstanding community partnership throughout the city of Clearwater. The campus is vibrant and active throughout the week and rarely sees a night that is not bustling with student activity. The community has strongly supported the school over the years, as we have been named a 5-star school for the last 17 years. This award recognizes community involvement and activity in the school and has been a great honor of distinction.
Our athletic programs have maintained a high level of success, as we have had regional qualifiers this year in cross country, football, volleyball, girls basketball, and swimming. We are district champions in girls basketball, and our football team, as the district runner-up, played a regional quarterfinal this season. Our JV football team was undefeated again this year. We have been fortunate to receive a ton of media coverage for our fall production of Grease, and 2 of our actors were nominated as the best actor and actress by the Broadway Star of Future program. As a result of our accomplishments, CHS was named the School of the Week by Channel 10 and was rewarded by Duke Energy with a $1,000 donation that was divided equally between our band and choral programs. We are very proud of our Tornadoes and appreciate the strong support of our community at our athletic events. As you know, the support of the school board, along with the city of Clearwater, has allowed us to name historic Jack Russell Stadium as our home field for baseball in 2016. The district has also provided a state-of-the-art softball complex for our girls, and we have brought on lacrosse as our newest boys and girls sport this spring. Our school continues to remain busy during the day and night, regularly hosting major athletic events at our facilities.
Our JROTC program continues to do great things in our community and is preparing for the upcoming drill competition season. The JROTC program has competed in numerous regional competitions for drill and marksmanship and finished second in the 2018 Iron Bear Challenge and third overall in the regional drill competition held in Lakeland. We now have an established civil rights leadership program that continues to do outstanding work in our community. Along with the great leadership they have provided at our school through the Big Brothers/Big Sisters program, they have also been able to mentor 40 students biweekly at Oak Grove Middle School. We have also established a program to tutor a class at Skycrest Elementary School through our Teen Trendsetters program. Our Science Department and STEAM Academy were the recipients of 2 grants totaling over $15,000 from both Ford NGL and from Verizon Wireless.
Our Fine Arts Department has also done very well this year. Our band program received straight superiors at the Marching Band Performance Assessment. Our choral program has previously performed at the Candlelight Procession at Walt Disney World. And our drama department put on an amazing production of Grease in the fall and will be showcasing Clue for the spring production. The drama program also received 9 superiors, 12 excellent ratings, and 2 honorable mentions at the district competition. Our spring production of Clue is combined production of all our programs, so come out and find out who has done it. Our visual arts program continues to excel at the scholastic art and writing competition, receiving numerous gold keys, gold portfolios, and numerous honorable mentions. Even our yearbook, Aqua Clara, received a silver medal rating through Columbia Scholastic Press Association.
Our wall-to-wall academy model continues to do very well, and we are proud to say that we have more industry certification and internship opportunities than any school in our district. For example, our sports and hospitality program, SHARE, allowed our students to receive athletic training, experience, and certifications in lifeguarding and sports officiating. Our STEAM Academy provides internship opportunities at both St. Petersburg, Clearwater, and Tampa International Airport. The partnership with Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University has provided college credit opportunities and certifications in unmanned aerial systems. Our FAME students have had internships at Ruth Eckerd Hall and have received recognition from the Strass Center's Broadway Stars of the Future program. Our Bliss Academy students have been provided internship, both paid and unpaid, at Achieva Credit Union, and we are also working with Mid-Florida Credit Union to establish additional experiences for our students.
Clearwater High School is proud to have the Cambridge ACE program on our campus. The ACE program has grown tremendously over the last 5 years, and we are proud to share that over 1,100 students will be participating in ACE tests this year. 17 of our students that took ACE tests last year received the Scholar Award from Cambridge, 6 more received the Scholar Award with Merit, and 3 more received the Scholar Award with Distinction, which is the highest honor a student can receive from Cambridge ACE. Because of our open access that allows all of our students to take ACE coursework, this is the largest amount of awards in the district. The ACE program offers rigorous courses in a variety of subject areas that provide college credit to students who successfully pass the assessments. We are proud of our ACE program and the open access opportunities it provides to all of our students.
As you are aware, CAKE is an international business program, and you have probably heard that it is named a model academy by the National Career Academic Coalition. This amazing program offers students certification options in Microsoft, Photoshop, and game design. These certifications options are available to our students, not only those in the CAKE program. We also host a huge international trade show where our students learn about creating a business and marketing a product or service. Last year, we began a virtual enterprise program where students stimulate the management of a corporation, and they won first place in Fort Lauderdale for their business model.
Clearwater High School has a little bit of everything for everyone. We are proud to say that our students are provided opportunities to better themselves both academically and personally on our campus. Go Tornadoes!
Thank you for giving us the opportunity to share a little bit about our school. We are proud Tornadoes.
We are fortunate to have, and thank you for the strong district support, and we appreciate all the school board does for us. Have a great Tornado Day.
I'm not sure if your principal is here today, Mr. Masterides. Oh, there you go. I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you, and thank you for your students doing a wonderful job reading off all of your activities. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, but thank you.
Madam Chair, if I may, Mr. Masterides also has Kathy Biddle, who is, I think a local news station did a recent feature on her, an interest story, which I think was wonderful. She has spent 40 years at Clearwater High School. And has done a phenomenal job, and I've known her for not all those 40 years, but many of them. We used to coach against one another, and I want to say just thank you for your service to this district, and specifically to Clearwater High School. So thanks for being here too. You students did a fabulous job.
Oh, no problem. I need some help with the eyes today, so no problem. Moving on to our special order agenda. We have a presentation of a proclamation for career and technical education. Dr.
Yes,
Grego, you want to introduce this item?
Yes, Madam Chair and to school board members, this is, we should never take this for granted, but our partnership with our Pinellas Educational Foundation and the accolades as our students and Students' Rights and Responsibilities just shared, the many recognitions that this district as a whole receive in terms of the hard work for career and technical and adult education. And so as we mark this as recognition of that, I'd like to say thank you to this board, and also thank you to Mr. Hunt, Mark Hunt, the Executive Director of Career, Technical, and Adult Education, for his leadership of really keeping us in the forefront of this area. Very important area too.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Dr. Grego, Mrs. Flowers, board members, superintendent, and staff. February is Career and Technical Education Month, and as you've heard from Clearwater High School and many other schools, Pinellas County has a very robust career and technical education program that provides career exploration, career awareness, and career goal setting for our young people and our adults. All of this begins in the elementary grades with our STEM programs. We have over 260 STEM programs that take place at the end of the school day and extend the school day for youngsters. And students engage in applied mathematics and science in these STEM programs, and they explore various career paths, everything from engineering through healthcare, and generally see how mathematics and science relate to their own world and how it works. That exploration continues in the middle grades. We have career and technical education programs in every single one of our middle schools, and these students engage in career academies like their high school counterparts. And career academies in both our middle schools and high schools are a school within a school dedicated to a specific theme. And as you heard from Clearwater, this is just a great opportunity for me to tag on the Clearwater, but those themes range the gamut of everything from aerospace through engineering, healthcare, construction, information technology, and on and on and on. But the idea of a career academy is to get kids engaged in learning, similarly to the STEM programs in elementary, where kids see the application of math and science. in our middle school and high school career academies, kids can see the connection of math, science, and language arts to a theme that they're interested in, that really gets them motivated in education. Our data that we've collected on our Career Academy students shows that students that are engaged in a Career Academy, as well as other activities, music, sports, what have you, they attend school more frequently, they have a higher grade point average, and they graduate on time at a higher rate than their non-participating cohort or peers. So we know career academies have a lot to do with kids' success in school and consequently after high school graduation. Industry certifications were mentioned also by our Clearwater High School students, and last year was an increase in industry certifications where our students in elementary, middle, and high school earned 13,494 industry certifications just last year. And that has escalated over the last 5 or 6 years from a beginning or a baseline of around 2,000 certifications to what we saw last year, over 13,000. And each one of these certifications has value in the career and the workforce, as well as many of them equate to articulated credit for post-secondary education. So students are earning a connection to post-secondary, whether it be college, technical school, apprenticeship, what have you, while they're in high school with these certifications. So they're really getting a leg up. Another aspect of career and technical education are our career and technical student organizations. This year, over 1,500 students will participate in a leadership or a technical skill competition with our career and technical student organizations. And those are in Skills USA, Health Occupation Students of America, Future Farmers of America, as well as the Business Leaders of America. That one was just slipping my mind for a second. But students have the opportunity to demonstrate their technical skills and their leadership skills in these competitions, and all of those skills apply to their career path. Last summer, over 400 students participated in an internship in our district. Internships range from bank tellers to IT, construction, auto maintenance, and it goes on and on. This year we're going to continue that internship program, but we're going to add the dimension of industry certifications to that. And students that participate this summer in the Summer Career Acceleration Program will not only have opportunity for a paid internship, but they'll also have opportunity to earn an industry certification. And these might be students that haven't had that opportunity heretofore. Every student needs to set career goals because we want every one of our students to have a career. Career is what establishes their ability to provide for themselves and their families. And those career goals are something that begin in elementary school and will culminate in the achievement of a career. And on February 21st, in a couple of weeks, we're going to have National Career Technical Signing Day. And Technical Signing Day is kind of the equivalent of a sports signing day where students commit to a university for sports. But at Technical Signing Day, students and their parents will commit to attending Pinellas Technical College for the furtherment of their career aspirations and achievement of their career goals. And every year for the past several years, we've had over 200 students participate in Technical Signing Day, and we look forward to that happening again this year. So as you see, career and technical education is for everybody. And we want all of our students to set those career goals. What do they want to do after high school, and how are they going to achieve that? Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Do we have a motion with a second for the
I move that we adopt the proclamation that's going to be read.
Do we have a second? Second. Thank you so much. And I've asked if Ms. Carroll will please read the proclamation.
Okay. Career and Technical Education Month. Whereas profound economic and technological changes in our society are rapidly reflected in the structure and nature of work, placing new and additional responsibilities on our educational system. And whereas the efforts of career and technical educators with business and industry stimulate the growth and vitality of our local economy and that of the entire nation by preparing graduates for careers that are forecast to experience the largest and fastest growth in the next decade. And whereas career and technical education serves as a backbone of a strong, well-educated workforce and contributes to America's leadership in the international marketplace, and whereas career and technical education provides Floridians with a school-to-career connection, helping students experience practical and meaningful applications of any number of skills. And whereas more than 415,000 secondary job preparations and 185,000 post-secondary career and technical education students in Florida engage in this type of meaningful education. And whereas secondary schools in all 67 school districts, all 28 Florida colleges and 48 technical colleges offer career and technical education courses, and whereas more than 430,000 secondary CTE students are enrolled in over 2,060 registered career and professional education academies, and more than 15,300 registered career-themed courses. And whereas Florida students have earned over 82,000 industry certifications and over 23,000 digital tool certificates, and whereas career and technical education offers individuals lifelong opportunities to learn new skills, providing career choices and potential satisfaction. Now therefore, we, the School Board of Pinellas County, do hereby proclaim February 2019 as Career and Technical Education Month.
We have a motion with a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Motion carries. And I participated in National Signing Day. I think School Board Member Joanne Latino participates. I'm going to be Pinellas Technical College, St. Pete. I think School Board Member Latino will be at Clearwater. Hopefully others will show. But it's a fabulous day.
Great.
So thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. We have the presentation of the resolution for recognition of a Crossing Guard Appreciation Day. Dr. Grego.
Yes, Madam Chair, and to the audience, I don't know about you, but every time I see a crossing guard on a road, I'm thankful, and they're as dependable, and even more so than other agencies. So those folks are out there each and every day, rain, sunshine, every which way. So it gives me great pleasure, and Chief Williams oversees a lot of this with our local chiefs and jurisdictions throughout the county. So if you can come forward and bring this resolution to the board hopefully for their approval.
Yes. Good morning, Madam Chair, board, Dr. Grego and staff. Each day, thousands of students walk or bicycle to Pinellas County schools under the protection of school crossing guards. Joining us today are Norman Reckles, Jr. from Clearwater. If you please stand, Mr. Reckles. Don Pecora from Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. Diana Schmidt from St. Petersburg Police Department. Melissa Mailing from St. Petersburg Police Department, and Corporal Scott Gailey from Pinellas Park Police Department. If y'all would stand and please be recognized for what y'all do on a daily basis. As I've said, each day thousands of students walk or bicycle to Pinellas County schools under the protection of school crossing guards. School crossing guards are present in all types of weather and risk their own safety and even lives every day to help our children travel to school. Recognizing School Crossing Guard Appreciation Day provides a means to express our thanks and appreciation to those dedicated and caring professionals who play a critical role in helping our students cross our busy streets safely on their way to and from school. Considerable time and resources are expended by the district and the various local, county, and state jurisdictions and agencies throughout Pinellas County to provide safe routes to school. Each year, approximately $5 million is allocated to enhance school pedestrian safety, a major component of which is the well-established Crossing Guard program. Local jurisdictions train and employ nearly 450 crossing guards who are deployed at nearly 350 locations across the county. Pinellas County Schools is proud to join municipalities and government entities across the nation in recognizing the outstanding efforts of our school crossing guards. Thank you.
So very much. We do have a resolution. If I could get a motion with a second. Is there a second? Second, Ms. Carr. And I've asked School Board Member Joanne Lentino if she will please read the resolution.
Am I on? Okay. February 13th, 2019. Whereas there are approximately 450 school crossing guards at approximately 350 crossing guard posts daily in Pinellas County, and whereas approximately $5 million is expended per year by jurisdictions and agencies to provide school crossing guards countywide, and whereas the school crossing guard program is an essential component in providing safe walkways for students. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the School Board of Pinellas County, the Superintendent, and the community acknowledge Wednesday, February 13th, 2019, as School Crossing Guard Appreciation Day. In doing so, we express our sincere thanks and appreciation to the school crossing guards in Pinellas County who daily help provide safer walking and bicycling school trips for thousands of students. Adopted at the regular session of the school board held on the 12th day of February 2019. Thank you.
Thank you.
So very much.
Thank you.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Yay.
Thank you, and thank you everybody for all that you do. Thank you so much. Moving on to public comments on agenda, I just want to share that if there is someone here who would like to speak on the item related to the approval of curriculum, Ms. Simonetti will call your name at that point in time for you to speak on that item when we get to that item. I didn't want anyone to think that you were being overlooked from the general comments. Ms. Simonetti?
Board members and Dr. Grego, we have 3 speakers this morning on specific agenda items. Our first 2 are Lenora Faulkner on consent number 15, followed by Mark Clutho for consent 14 and 15 and non-consent number 3.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I come here with the love that they had for Southside Middle School that was closed. I'm here for Pinellas Park Middle. There's a lot that has happened since my doctor wrote a letter in 2003 for me to leave Pinellas Park Middle, and the school board hasn't responded to it yet. But that's your problem. It's just like what's happening in Lansing, Michigan. Greetings from Pinellas Park Middle School. Its history is similar to Southside Middle School, an A school for years that was closed by the school system. After I left in 2003, 30 teachers put in for transfers and the entire science department. The teachers from Pinellas Park Middle are a family who have been promised by Dr. Brim a new school in 2007. I told them that I would speak at school board meetings until it was complete. Because of the mold problems, I had nasal polyps and could not breathe through my nose for many years. Lack of oxygen is a major cause of cancer. In 1998, I found out that I had breast cancer in 7 of my lymph nodes, and someone on the internet told me it was 100% fatal.
Ms. Faulkner, Madam Chair, do you mind if I interrupt for just a moment? I apologize, Ms. Faulkner. This is an opportunity to speak to this agenda item, which relates to the substantial completion of the construction at Pinellas Park Middle.
Okay.
So I understand you are speaking about a new school. but I would ask that you limit your comments to the agenda item regarding the completion of that construction.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
I thank you for it. After my letter was written, I went to the school, and they said that the principal promised them a new school in 2007. I told them I would speak at every school board meeting I could get to until that school was built. So I thank you for building the school. I spoke to the head of economic development in 2005. I speak at county commissioners. He kept me abreast of everything that was going on because his wife taught there in the afternoon. So what I am saying is maybe in a year or so you won't see me anymore when that new school is built. I take it very seriously. I promise this to the teachers. 30 of them walk for cancers for me. And I thank you for keeping me on task. I'll talk to you next time. So God bless you all. I'm just so blessed for being alive. I only asked God for 5 years and he gave me 20. So God bless.
Thank you, Ms. Faulkner.
Mark Lutho, Largo. Yeah, so number 14, wall replacement, renovation, you might say, and the strategic direction, learning in a safe environment. Well, what was wrong there to begin with? You can't make the buildings right? This is sad, really sad. Another example of the taxpayers' money squandered. Hasn't this happened before? And at Pinellas Park, yeah, your renovation, strategic direction, learning in a safe environment. Sure. And down here under non-consent, you have this approval of your tentative agreement with the teachers. Oh boy. You know, this is really something here. Strategic direction, effective and efficient use of resources. Well, if that isn't a joke, you wouldn't know it if it slapped you in the face. And the teachers, well, you know, as time goes on, I become more and more disillusioned with those teachers. Look at the headline. Hot streak holds, 2018, fourth warmest. Do those teachers ever demand that you give them buildings that aren't wasteful so they can be paid decent wages and money doesn't go up in smoke? Do they care, or do they just want to pad their pockets? Which is it? More on that to come.
Our third speaker for specific agenda items is Mike Gandolfo for non-consent number 3.
Good morning, Madam Chair, board members, Dr. Grego, and staff. This morning, I'd like to speak on non-consent item number 3, the request for approval of the tentative agreement with the Pinellas Classroom Teachers Association. You should know that this agreement took a great deal of time and effort on both sides. You should also know that this work is not easy given the unfunded mandates, interference, and restrictions placed on districts by the state. However, this agreement was ratified by the bargaining unit with 95% of the ballots cast being in favor of making this our next contract. This tentative agreement is an attempt to release some of the steam from the pressure cooker that has become the teaching profession. I'm grateful to Paula Texel, Lori Dart, Kevin Smith, and the members of the district bargaining team for understanding the need to improve working conditions. Florida is expected to have 10,300 teacher vacancies at the end of this school year. The colleges of education are graduating only half as many teachers as they did in 2010, and educators are retiring as soon as they possibly can. The teacher shortage is real, and it is here. None of the plans being talked about in Tallahassee have a snowball's chance in Hades of helping the situation. We are alone, and if we want to do right by our students, we will have to work together to make Pinellas the place for educators to sink their roots and grow. This agreement places us on the right path toward building better working climates in our schools. There is still work to be done, but I strongly urge that you vote in favor of this agreement and that we continue on the path to bring back the joy of teaching to our educators so they can deliver our students the joy of learning. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving on to our unfinished business. Do we have any? No unfinished business? Do we have a motion for the approval of the consent agenda?
Move approval of the consent agenda.
It's been moved by School Board Member Carol Cook, seconded by Eileen Long. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Do we have any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Our non-consent agenda item, first being the public hearing to receive public comment on the recommended instructional materials. Dr. Grego?
Yes, Madam Chair, I'd like to call upon Mr. Kevin Hendrick, who's the Associate Superintendent for Teaching and Learning. As this board knows, statutes were changed over the last several years requiring that this be a public hearing on the adoption of materials. So, Mr. Hendrick?
Morning, Madam Chair, board members, and staff. This morning it's my pleasure to bring to you recommendations for the adoption of instructional materials for mathematics. As you know, each year we as a state undergo an instructional materials review process and adoption. Last year was science, this year is mathematics. At the board workshop a few weeks ago, we presented to you some information, but for the benefit of the public, I'd like to repeat some of that. This year, at the start of the school year, teams of teachers, district staff, community and parents reviewed 19 publishers across 13 course clusters in grades kindergarten all the way through 12th grade for mathematics. The teams looked at published textbooks and online materials and selected 2 finalists in most course areas for mathematics teachers at schools across the district to review over the course of about 1 month and provide input on those finalists. Final selections were made in late December. The statute then requires that we publish those and give the public an opportunity to preview those materials. We did so online as required from January 21st to February 9th. And now today, we bring forward the opportunity for the public to comment on those materials.
Mr. Minetti, do we have any speakers?
I have no speakers for this item, Madam Chair.
No speakers. Okay. We have a motion with a second for the adoption. I'm sorry.
I have a.
I didn't see your light. I apologize. Ms. Lentino?
Yeah. I just had one question. On the financial impact, there is no cost to the district during this phase of the adoption process. Costs will be included when the adoption is finalized. Do you have any range of how much that's going to be?
Sure. Each year we receive a categorical funds from the state for instructional materials purposes. It depends on the number of students that we have, but typically, and Mr. Smith can correct me if I'm wrong, it's about $8 million in that range. We then have to allocate portions of that to specific groups like dual enrollment, exceptional student education, charter schools, and that leaves us around $6 million to make the purchases each year for instructional materials. That amount of money would not purchase everything on here. We don't purchase everything on here,
Right.
whether this year, next year, or the following year. This just gives us the opportunity to say, if we choose to purchase, these are the ones that we would do.
Okay, and I noticed that there's just one elementary grades K through 5, Curriculum Associates Ready Mathematics. Is that going to be a consideration?
Of course. We consider our current materials. Some of the current materials that we have for other grades have been purchased more recently.
Okay.
So we take the money, we make the best available choices for what we need, and certainly replacing our elementary curriculum is a priority.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Latino.
Madam Chair, thank you. This is just a public hearing. There is no motion or vote necessary. This just needed to be placed on a public meeting agenda to receive comment from the public. As Mr. Hendrick indicated, you will take action at a later meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments from any other board members? Moving on to number 2, which is to request approval of the purchase of a school security police integration system. Dr. Grego?
Yes, Madam Chair and school board members, I want to say first and foremost that Mr. Herbic and Chief Williams has performed admirably in over this last year, and this is a result of one piece of many things that this school district has performed on in terms of school safety and security. And I'm going to ask Mr. Herbic to just bring the school district, the school board, and the general public up to date with this integrated system from Interlogic, and also a grant that we wrote for on a federal level that we wrote in partnership with the county commissioners, and would benefited that we are receiving. So, Mr. Herbic.
Thank you, Dr. Grego. Madam Chair, school board members and staff. First, want to share with you a little bit of a background. About 2 years ago, our staff started looking at all the multiple systems for safety and security that we have in our district. And just to kind of, again, give you a background, we have camera systems. We have access systems that are like the door swipe systems that you see. We have intrusion systems and alarms. We have multiple communication systems. All of those systems, what we discovered when we started looking at this a couple of years ago, were they all acted independently. They're all on their independent platform. And those platforms all needed to speak to different platforms out there at each of our partner agencies in law enforcement. And one of the things that we were concerned about with all of these independent platforms on our end, trying to communicate with the independent platforms on the police end, the more of those, I guess, independent systems that are out there, the more chance you would have for making mistakes or that communication piece to not flow as efficiently as we would like. So we started looking at different technologies and different things out there that could help integrate all of the systems that we have with law enforcement and make it very, very easy that if there's a situation that the school had an emergency, that they could communicate very quickly, not only with their own staff, but also with our school's police department and the agency outside that serves them, whether it's St. Pete, Clearwater, the sheriff, whichever agency that may be. During that time of kind of investigation and discovery, we came across a company out of New York called Interlogic Solutions. And Interlogic Solutions is a technology system which integrates all of those parts. And they're based in Long Island, and we did invite them down to a district security and or safety and security council meeting where they demonstrated their technology to us. They also shared with us that their experience in Suffolk County, New York, where it's almost kind of backwards for us. Suffolk County has dozens and dozens of school boards with one sheriff. We have all of these systems with multiple agencies. But the technology and the theory behind the technology is the same. It integrates these different pieces, and it makes it easy for all of the different agencies to communicate with our schools and with each other as well. So again, we talked to Interlogic, and again, this started about 2 years ago. We were moving down the road of what kind of package that we may want to purchase from them. And then Parkland happened. And what we learned from Parkland, even in the days right after the event all the way to now, and the review of the Parkland Commission notes, we found out that the police communications in that area did hinder the response. And that is something that absolutely that we learned from that in our discussions with the sheriff, that we didn't want to risk any further. So we started working with Interlogic at that time, right after Parkland, on a pilot program We wanted to test out this technology here in Pinellas County with all of our different platforms. We wanted to test it at a high school and middle school and elementary school with those agencies, with our police agencies, and make sure it really worked here. And again, just because it works in Suffolk County doesn't mean it's going to work exactly the way we wanted it to. So we test piloted at Northeast High School, Meadowlawn, and Sexton. They're all in a nice block for us. We put the system into place. This past summer, we invited all of our law enforcement partners, and every single agency sent a representative to the test. And they all liked what they saw. And basically what Interlogic Solutions does, instead of putting a principal or a school staff member in the position of having to call, let's say, a lockdown, and then call the police, and then maybe call us, and then call school police, and all these other different steps to get the process moving, to get help to where it's needed, Interlogic provides a one-button solution, where you literally hit a button and all of those systems work. The police are immediately notified, they can pull up cameras, they know what's going on at the scene, and they are responding. It cuts the response time down to seconds, as opposed to where it could have been minutes. While we were in the pilot program, the Department of Justice announced the grant opportunity that you have in front of you today, the COPS grant, which stands for Community-Oriented Policing Services. The COPS grant is intended to make sure that law enforcement partners work with schools in the school prevention or school violence prevention program. And so what they're really looking for is some type of, it could be technology, it could be training, it could be different other things, depending on what a district needs, but it's for an outside police agency to partner with the school district to make sure that they are on the same page when it comes to school violence prevention. So one of the challenges that we had with the COPS grant is that we could not apply for it. It had to be one of the responding agencies, and for us it is the Sheriff's Department. As I think the Chief can correct me, I think it's the constitutional authority for law enforcement here in Pinellas County. And the Sheriff couldn't even apply for the grant. Their funding agency had to, which is the Pinellas County Commission. So we worked very closely with the Sheriff this summer. We wrote the grant, applied for it through the Pinellas County Commission. We're very fortunate. These, I think, a little bit before Christmas, maybe in November or so, and I correct myself, it was actually earlier, I believe it was right after the school year started, we were informed that we received the grant of $488,000. And so the agreement that you have in front of you today does a couple of things. First of all, it spells out the requirements of that grant and our partnership with the Commission and how the funds of that grant will be implemented and how the Commission not only will release those funds to us, but how we will expend them. So that's part of the agenda item that you see in front of you today. The other part of the agenda item that you see in front of you is for the complete purchase of the Interlogic Solution system. The system itself and the package that we want to purchase today, there's a cost of about $1.5 million. $488,000 of that will come from the COPS grant. This past Friday, we also received news from the Department of Education that we received our full allotment of the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas Public Safety Act school hardening allocation. And for us, that's about $3.5 million, some of which we share with our charter school partners, but the rest of it is us. And I think Mr. Smith, I believe, has about $3.2 million, which is our share. So combining the parts of the school hardening grant that we allocated for Interlogic Solutions, combined with the COPS grant allocation and some district capital outlay funds, we can make this purchase of $1.5 million for Interlogic Solutions. We can then install those in every single school in the district. It includes the one-button lockdown. It includes the police integration, where they can not only know immediately if a school hits that button and needs help, they can also pull up our cameras and see a live feed of everything going on inside that building. But it also provides a mobile lockdown feature that any staff member on their mobile phone can order a lockdown by pushing one button. They don't have to waste the time of asking for permission or going through any other step to get people to a safe spot. They push that button and that happens immediately, And when they push that button, even on their mobile phone, the police know immediately as well. And so this purchase again, or this agenda item, approves not only the agreement with the county commission, but it also approves the purchase of Interlogic and helps us move forward with that purchase as well. And I would be remiss before I conclude that I not only want to thank the members of the District Safety and Security Council who started this research a couple of years ago, but Sheriff Gualtieri and his deputies and his team for helping us write the grant, the County Commission for supporting us in the grant application, and then two people in our that worked very hard on our own staff, Mary Connage and Michelle Robinson in our grants department. They actually wrote the grant and did all kinds of last-minute changes and updates to make sure that that we received these funds.
So, Madam Chair and School Board, you could see how excited and also proud as we were in a conference last week, and we have a statewide school safety conference coming up in 2 weeks. I'll be attending along with Mr. Herbic and Chief Williams, and many of the districts that we're having discussions are going to such a system. I'm not pushing one system over the other. I want to also express my appreciation for our district through the Safety Council being so proactive. Many of the things, whether it's Sandy Hook Promise, we were engaged with this well before this unfortunate incident in Parkland, and it just demonstrates to our community that safety has always been and has been and will continue to be a top priority. So I ask for permission to move on with the COPS grant as well as the purchasing of this interlocking system. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. Before we start with questions and responses, do I have a motion with a second for the purposes of discussion?
Motion. Second.
I have a motion with a second for the purposes of discussion. I just want to say two things real quick. I did speak with Dr. Grego and asked him about continual funding for the updates and upgrades of the system. Because I was concerned about costs, with grants, and he shared with me it would potentially be pulled down from our Safe Schools funding. The other question I just thought of today was, do we have to pay the county commission an administrative fee out of that grant amount or are they allowing that money to be a straight pass-through?
I believe they're allowing that money to come from us, that there is no administrative fee to that.
Okay.
And I'd also like to share, if you don't mind, that there is no annual fee for Interlogic Solutions at the school level. There is a $14,000 annual fee to make sure that to buy software that connects with our school's police comm center.
Okay. Ms. Carr, and then School Board Member Lentino, Joanne Lentino.
There we go. I just want to ask a clarifying question because I read it, but then I'm hearing your portion here. So our capital outlay budget, it's the 1.4 that would come from capital outlay. Is that correct?
No, it's a $1.5 million overall purchase. So, and I'm going to round off a little bit, about the $500,000 from COPS, and there's about $200,000 from the state fund that we will be able to use. So I'll leave about $800,000 one-time capital outlay expenditure.
Okay, thank you.
I had a question. On the third line under the financial impact, I don't know if this was a typo or not. General Services Award 20191. It's on the back page.
That is, that should say 2009. I'm sorry.
That's the number of the award.
Oh, okay.
That's the number of the award.
Thank you for correcting me.
And that's the number of the grant? Yes. Okay, thanks.
Do we have any other questions, concerns? I think this is really good, moving towards implementing a system where we can have our teachers or staff signal for help as soon as possible, because the less time in between where assistance is requested and assistance arrives makes all the difference in the world. So I think this is really good, and I'm thankful for the coordination between all the entities to make this happen. No territorial thing, just, safety as a item. So thank you all so very much for your work, everyone. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Do we have any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you again, everybody.
Thank you.
Request approval of the tentative agreement with the Pinellas Classroom Teachers Association. Dr. Grego.
Yes, Madam Chair and School Board, and I too want to echo my colleagues, Mr. Gandolfo's comments. It's been a great road and one that we need to continue on and working with, because teachers, as I've said so many times, is the heart and soul of our business, and we need to make sure that we're getting this right. And so I'm very proud to bring this agenda item for your approval. I'm going to ask Ms. Texel, and I also want to publicly thank Ms. Texel and the same individuals that Michael responded to, Ms. Dart and Kevin Smith, and really the whole committee. There's multiple people behind that, and just the collaboration is so important to get there. So, Ms. Texel, why don't you
Good
review it?
morning. Good morning, Madam Chair, school board members, Dr. Grego, and staff. And I will echo what Dr. Grego echoed. Thanks to the entire team for their hard work on this, and the good work that we did, and it was just a really a collaborative effort. But I am here this morning to request approval of the tentative agreement with Pinellas Classroom Teachers Association. And as we mentioned, we have spent the past couple of months, several months, working through our PCTA contract. The full book contract was totally reviewed and at sections revised. We also are bringing forth healthcare and salaries today. We begin, as I said, a new 3-year contract agreement with PCTA in which several changes, adjustments, revisions were made. And just to highlight a few of those adjustments or revisions today with you all, we definitely know that planning for instruction is critical to the success of our students, and understand there needs to be a balance in our schedules to make this happen. So several things were revised, such as clarifying how lesson plans should be readily available and the conditions for when lesson plans can be requested by administration to be reviewed more frequently. We also revised the process for schools to collaboratively develop schedules that work for the school, including designating specific numbers of meetings that can be held per month, and those were determined to be 5 at the secondary and 8 in the elementary. The language also provided that we do not hold meetings the 5 work days prior to grades being required to be submitted, so that will help out with that schedule as well. Definitions of meetings, planning, and other activities such as coaching that are part of a teacher's workday were updated and revised. Also, language was regarding our evaluations was updated to reflect the move to the Marzano-focused model that we are currently implementing. And this did contain recommendations from the Appraisal Advisory Committee. Our supplemental compensation manual will also be added as an appendix to our contract, which will allow for easy reference for our employees. And we have also incorporated to the contract the previous MOUs in relation to the support provided to schools. We are excited to increase our beginning teacher salary this year to $43,809, which includes over $4,000 from our referendum funds. And our goal is to continue to lead the neighboring districts in beginning salaries and all of our salaries, which our teachers so deserve. This also assists in our recruiting efforts, as you know. We have continued to fund increases in our supplemental pay. This year, just over $300,000 was set aside to increase those rates for our supplements. And just a side note, over the past 4 years, we have allocated over $900,000 to continue to implement those supplements that our teachers so greatly deserve. I wanted to thank the Employee Wellness and Employee Wellbeing and Satisfaction Committee who worked through the healthcare process this year, including our transition to Aetna. We had a $5.7 million increase, as you know, in healthcare costs this year, with $4.9 million being paid or contributed by the board. And as a reminder, the school board also covered the $1.9 million increase for our FRS contribution. So the overall total average compensation package this year for our instructional staff is 3.55%, with an average salary increase of 2.55%. Again, I want to thank Mr. Gandolfo for his work throughout the process. As he noted, last week's ratification passed with 95% in favor. And if approved today, employees will be receiving their raises and their retro checks in their March 1st paycheck. And if this agreement is approved today, we will have reached approval with 3 of our 4 bargaining groups with our Fraternal Order of Police conducting their vote coming up this Friday. So we expect to hear from them at the end of this week. So on behalf of the superintendent's staff, we are recommending that you approve the agreement with PCTA.
Do we have a motion with a second for the purposes of discussion? Mr. Dudley has a light.
I make a motion.
Is there a second? Thank you, Mr. Dudley. Your light.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Turn your mic. No problem, sir. Yeah, now there you go. You're ready.
Okay. Well, I just want to say that this is, it's, when I was a teacher and contract every year came up, I was one of those cynics, and I really never voted for one because I quite frankly didn't know all the workings and things that went on. But after reading this, and when you have a 95% approval by the teachers, I think I'm going to have to change the way I voted in the past. But I wanted to say that a couple of things stand out to me as I was looking this over. First of all, the definitions and clarifications of terms is a big help. And I think that part of any angst that people have is not understanding things, and when there's terms and they really are not defined very well, that provides some angst in people. So I'm glad to see that. I understand that one of the major concerns that I heard from teachers was the starting salary and what we call step increases. And I'm seeing that the starting salary, and if you could explain the process of step increases to the public, it would be helpful.
Sure. The step increases, as you know, or maybe for clarification, are for our grandfathered, our employees who are on our grandfathered schedule.
Right.
And that is usually our people who are around year 10. Everybody previous to that is on a performance salary schedule, and where they are placed at a salary when they enter the teaching into our district. And then their salary is determined based on performance and so forth going along. So if they are on performance, they receive a salary when they are hired on, and then their salary is really unique. They are not on step. So when we say step, that is the old term that we've used for the grandfather.
I understand.
So that is then the people who are on grandfathered, they receive that whatever is negotiated with our union to that level.
That's why I asked the question, because
Yes.
I know it is an old term, but it is a term that's still used.
Yeah. And we are being very careful in our communications. I will tell you, we were working on one prior to me walking into this meeting, and people still utilize that word step, and we said we need to take that out because we need to be very consistent in what we're referencing.
I'm glad we clarified it, and that's why I asked the question.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the hard work by the union and by your staff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you, everyone, for your hard work. I know we were hoping we could have gotten it done like before the holidays as a holiday woohoo, and so we had to move on because there was more dialogue, but dialogue is good because then you get a chance to hear from all perspectives. And so thank you so much to Mr. Gandolfo. Thank you to Paula. Thank you to the entire team for your communication, sticking with it, and I know the teachers will be especially happy if this passes once we take the vote, which I think it will, but I can't say that until we take the vote. But I think the teachers will be very excited for the pay period of March 1st. So we have a motion with a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Are there any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you again so much for your hard work. All right, so moving on to new business. Items introduced by the superintendent.
Yeah, Madam Chair and School Board, there's been a lot of thank yous on this last item sent out. I want to turn the table and say thank you to school board members. The work that we've done both in and out of executive session, and others, your total commitment to not only the teachers, but the support staff, the administrators, and the many arms of our school district, and your balance is along the way, and your generosity, and many times not only about the pay, but the impacts of things that we don't have necessarily control over, like rising healthcare costs and rising costs of the Florida retirement system, that you have chosen to pick up many of those bills, so to speak, instead of turning them onto placing them onto the desks or the tables of our teachers. So thank you for this, and this is always a happy day. And we'll settle it with our officers next week, and we'll be finished for the year. So it's been a good year, though, and thank you, Mr. Gandolfo, again. I also want to share, as we go from one year and one budget to the next, you saw the governor's budget was out. We'll have an update next week during our workshop. Mr. Smith will provide that for you, but I am encouraged as the governor has looked at teacher salaries as one of those driving forces. It's certainly a starting point. $422 million to try to really increase very specifically to teacher pay. I will continue to give you a legislative update on the Friday report. The Capital City has provided those. Let me know if that's good, if that's an easy way of work, but each Friday I will put it, because Joy Frank also provides me a Friday update, so each Friday I will get it to you before the end of the day. If that's working for you, many of you are nodding your head, so I'll take that as a yes. If you have a suggestion to do it somehow differently, let me know, or you can bring it up when it's your turn to speak. I did have the opportunity, I want to thank Dr. Stacy Byer and Jennifer Dull for traveling with me to Tallahassee. Did have the opportunity to testify with Career and Technical Education. Our Chris Letvala, who's a representative, is certainly on the overall education committee, and Chair Sullivan is taking a look at how to advance career and technical education in the state, and they're looking, and I'm so pleased that they're looking at Pinellas County as one of those districts that perhaps has done this work a little bit and could provide some insight to our elected officials. So I was happy to go there, and I want to thank them thank you for your support of allowing me to travel. Time away from districts is always a little bit of a challenge, and also thank you for the foundation and to Jennifer. Also want to reach out and just say thanks to all of our music instructors. These last few weeks, I don't know how they do it. I mean, I'm out a lot. I know you folks are out a lot, but the productions at the Mahaffey, I can't name them all. Saturday productions, all county this, all county elementary, middle, high school. No rock was not lifted up when it came to our music department. And each and every time I listen to a guest conductor or somebody who's coming to our district, they consistently say to the audience and to our parents, you don't realize the gem you have here in your district. I travel throughout the United States, and the work that's being done here are leaps and bounds above everybody else. And so thanks to Sue Castleman. We had an arts display at Gibbs the other evening with a jam-packed auditorium, and to Jeannie Reynolds, who works tirelessly with our community. And she just returned back from the Kennedy Center with our partnership there, so they are going 100 miles an hour. And I just wanted to take a moment and say thanks to all the teachers and to the students, and obviously to the parents who get their students there in practices and so many other sacrifices they make, all for the benefit of that. So Coach, I want to also, because I didn't want to, you mentioned last time that we don't highlight athletics sometimes. I want to mention a few things about athletics so I wouldn't let you down.
Good.
But we have 3 girls team and 1 boys team, boys team. St. Pete High, Largo High School, Palm Harbor University girls soccer team are all playing in the regional finals tonight. So if you're into a soccer game, there'll be plenty of them tonight, and Eastlake boys soccer is playing the regional finals tomorrow. That is Wednesday. Congratulations to all our winter sports as they come to a close. Also, real congratulations to Dr. Solomon Lowry for winning the Leonard Miller Principal Leadership Award. This recognition is through the PASS program, through Dr. Elaine Lifton, who works with us with the Executive PASS and overall PASS program. And so I want to just say congratulations to Dr. Lowry for his recognition and certainly recognizing the school district. The other evening, special thanks to Kevin Hendrick and Judy Vigu and many, many others behind the scenes. We conducted our first live stream ever, and now I'm hooked on this, but we had a live stream at Largo High School for Elevating Excellence. And so instead of, you think about you're going to have one activity in one location, everyone's got to go to that location, right? So now we're live streaming off of our YouTube channel. And so I spoke at the Largo High School auditorium with about 300 or 400 people there. That was crowded, but it's being streamed into Boca Ciega High School, and then it was also being streamed into the same episode at Countryside High School. So all in all, just think about the number of parents that we're reaching. And then Judy Vigu, Miss Vigu, gave such an outstanding presentation and that from teaching and learning about the components of elevating excellence, and then it reaches through the PowerPoint through all of those sites. And I just think it's a wonderful means and use of technology to reach our parents and continue to think about the ability for our district to help individuals navigate a very complex post-secondary application. It's getting more and more complex. I'm getting more and more compliments about this elevating excellence, the foundations attached to it. I think it's going to be one of the greatest things we've ever embarked upon, and it's only going to grow. Likewise, this Monday, February 11th, we had our Parent Academy performed with that same live stream with YouTube channel, and the sessions took place in Pinellas Park, but they also reached many other locations. If I go back to the Elevating Excellence, we also, in terms of not only the people who physically were in one of those three high schools, we also had 131 participants online. And so you think about multiplying your audience. Beth Herendine and her whole communications department that's reaching out there and going out there and trying these new things, thank you very much. Sean Clark has been such a great contributor and a little bit of a brainchild behind many of these innovative approaches, and I continue to encourage them to keep moving on and let's try new things. If it's reaching parents, it's communicating to parents directly about their students, about something we have. Let's make it easy. Let's continue to make ourselves accessible. I want to end off with certainly, two things. One is I did put on your desk area the calendar for our district-wide Professional Learning Day. That's Monday, 8:30 to 3:30. If you have any inclination of wanting to go to some, please work through Ann, and I can certainly make arrangements. But you see on a single page that we will be very busy this Monday with the district-wide training program. My last thing is a means to remember, as was mentioned, and I asked Mr. Herbic as he was bringing out some of the safety things. This Thursday marks the one-year anniversary of the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas tragedy, and what I'm planning to do, and I certainly ask your board's approval, you don't really need a vote, but I'm just informing you, is that the Superintendent's Association on that day at 10:17 will hold a moment of silence across the state of Florida for the 17 people. So the significance of the 10:17, the 17 is the lives that were lost. At 10 o'clock, the only significance there is it's the only time in the entire state that everyone's in school, because middle schools start later, you know the story. So at 10:17, each of the principals have been provided an appropriate, age-appropriate remark to be read, and just understanding and reflecting on that moment of silence. That too will be, I will, in this building, also be doing the same thing. So I'll share with you one of for the high schools, and where a principal will be saying this over the intercom. It's with a heavy reflection that we acknowledge the anniversary of the tragedy that occurred in Parkland, Florida 1 year ago today. On February 14th, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School students and staff lost their lives due to an act of violence at their school. I want to thank our school community for working together in the past year to make sure our campus is a safe, inclusive, and caring place of learning. Our thoughts are with those in Parkland, especially the victims and their families. Let's honor them now with a moment of silence. And then after that, we'll say thank you for honoring the moment of silence. Please know that your school support staff is here. So that outreach, along with I want to thank Donna Sicilian and the departments, elementary, middle, and high, for making an appropriate announcement. To just take a moment and reflect. And two, want to emphasize and thank our local law enforcement, especially our sheriff and many, many others, that the important aspect of this, and I hope that we continue to realize, is that of one of support for each other. I was reflecting as we're preparing some comments for next week's statewide school safety conference at Sheriff Galtieri, and now I will be speaking at right with him or after him. I continue to come back to this element of supporting one another in terms of running a school district that perhaps 10 or 15, 20, 30 years ago, we were not in the same conversations with law enforcement, mental health agencies, and so forth. So our world has changed, but our business continues to change too, reflecting on that. And that's the beauty of public education, is that it has to continue to evolve. So we will be doing that, and I certainly want to thank the board for your support over this last year, and we'll continue to do that. Chief Williams, thank you for entering right as that it was almost a year. I don't want to mark your anniversary of employment with that event, but it was very close to that event. And thank you to Mr. Herbic and many of our support staff employees for all that we've accomplished. I think sometimes we don't realize all that's been accomplished in 365 days in terms of creating even a greater safety than what we were. And we were doing very well with our safety office and that committee that was referenced before. That concludes my comments, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you so very much for all of your comments. They were most certainly timely. Do we have any comments or information from our school board attorney? Okay, items introduced by the board. Let's start on this side. Last week we started on this side. We'll start on this side. So School Board Member Lisa Carr, any comments?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Madam Chair. As a board member, I just wanted to say I was very touched. I had the opportunity to go to the Sandy Hook Promise Grand Prize ceremony at Madeira Beach Fundamental. It was very, very emotional and very, very touching. I was very proud of the school and all the hard work that they did to help prevent social isolation and school violence. The 7th graders did an amazing choral presentation, and we were all moved to tears, so it was a beautiful ceremony. Just wanted to thank the administration at Madeira Beach Fundamental for all of their hard work. Additionally, I was able to visit McMullen Booth Elementary this past week and get a wonderful tour of the school by Jackie Poole, who's been a 22-year employee of the district. It's an absolutely beautiful campus, a lot of beautiful student art throughout the school. They were recently qualified for Title I funding, and I was told that that is helping the school significantly in supports and staffing to help with achievement throughout the school. Additionally, for the last 2 years, they have a preschool teacher, Melody Martin, who has helped to coordinate and facilitate a Special Olympics at the school. That's going to be held next week, possibly the week following. I can't remember if it's February 21st or 23rd, but if you are interested in going, they would love the support of all the surrounding community to help with this program. It's been a wonderful event for the school, and they're very, very excited, so they invited everyone to come and support them in this opportunity. So with that being said, thank you so much.
Thank you. Great information. School Board Member Lentino?
Yes. I've been very busy last 2 weeks, and what was really the highlight was the Evening of Excellence when Nicole Kenegott from Plum Elementary School got the award. That was great. That was really terrific that she received that. I had several meetings with the YMCA, Take Stock in Children. I attended the Mahaffey Elementary Orchestra, the elementary, the middle school, and the high school this past Monday. And that was just phenomenal. I definitely wrote Ms. Jean a card, and I really expressed my gratitude for the wonderful work that she's been doing. I also visited with Calvin Hunsinger Middle School, met with the high school director, Mr. Merritt, and I have a list of some repairs that he has made comments about. He addressed that at the Oldsmar City Council meeting that we were up there. Also, Terry Lipsey Scott did speak with the Business Women's Professional Association, and that was very enlightening. She really expressed there is no charge to go to the Carter Woodson Museum, and she encouraged a lot of people to address a letter to Mayor Kreisman about getting on the housing board group that will be meeting, and also pushing forward some issues that relates to the Jordan Park community, where these 31 buildings have been sequestered around a fence. Also, Madeira Beach Elementary School, which was also something that I participated in before I went to the Lakewood for Mr. Merritt's meeting. That was great. The drumming was great. The little kindergarten kids, they were in there banging on those drums. It was really, I just enjoyed it so much. It was really a great experience to be there. And then yesterday I was at the Community Alliance Project with the JWB, and there's really a big push for getting our people to step up and to be a champion for home and in your heart. Do you have room for home and in your heart? So maybe I'll be passing these out to some of our teachers in the building, and hopefully maybe we'll get some people that will be able to step up and provide a suitable home for their foster child. And I think that's just about all that I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Carr. Ms. Carr.
Hello. I just wanted to share a really wonderful story of a gentleman. I have the opportunity to attend the Homeless Leadership Board as our rep from the school board. And in recent days, we know the weather has dropped. And it really spoke to me the power an individual can have. So often when we sit here or we are voting on policy, we are looking at systems and processes and ensuring that things are accurate with checks and balances. And while we recognize people, the power an individual can have. And this man, Cliff, has been really the main person who has opened our cold weather shelters. So for the past 35 years, a single individual has directed and ensured the safety and well-being of so many homeless individuals in our community, including our families. So it made me think and reflect upon the power of the individuals like Jeannie Reynolds. I also attended the Saturday high school, and the power that maybe a first grade teacher who said to a student, you might be really good at this instrument, and then to see that student later perform at the county middle school band. Or the director, the oboe soloist on Saturday was Dr. Parker, a former band teacher at Seminole and student. I'm not sure he was a teacher at Seminole, but definitely a student at Seminole. And Dr. Robinson was his band teacher. And they both came back full circle, the band professor, the previous student, to help direct and perform in countywide band. So while oftentimes we do look so much at the systems and processes, I just think the power of an individual to wholeheartedly invest in their work and put forth the greatest quality that they can. And I'm excited that we've ratified this contract because so many of our individual teachers do exactly that. So thanks for the opportunity to be on the Homeless Leadership Board. It is a tremendous learning opportunity.
Ms. Cook?
I really only have one thing that I want to mention, and it was about your presentation in Tallahassee. Dr. Grego, you represented us very well, and I think that type of conversation is very important, but the fact that you were invited to come and speak, I think speaks volumes about what our staff is doing and what is happening in the lives of our children. And I congratulate you for having the respect of the legislators. And because when you went, they actually, they listened. Now, what they do with that, I don't know. But they listened to what you were saying. So I think it was a very positive thing, and you represented us well. And it makes me proud to know that this is what their hard work is doing for our students. Thank you.
Ms. Ali?
Yes, I had the opportunity yesterday of spending the day at Garrison Jones, and it was phenomenal in the pre-K. I thought of you, Mrs. Lentino, with the pre-K, to watch these dual language programs and these little 4-year-olds learning and speaking Spanish even when they went into the cafeteria. It was just amazing. You can see those little minds processing, and what wonderful opportunities for our little ones in Pinellas County. If we start really building programs like that, our outcome is going to be amazing. But I was very impressed with the dual language program at Garrison. I'm going back for international dinner. I met with a group of parents. It's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity for our young people, and I was extremely impressed.
Mr. Dudley?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, it's been many, many, many years since I actually went into an elementary school and had the opportunity to kind of interact with faculty and staff. Just last 2 weekends, last 2 weeks, I went to Shore Acres Elementary School, and I went to North Shore, and I will have to tell you, it warmed my heart when I sit in both of those situations. I went in, and they were having team meetings, and I know that when I sat down, I'm listening to all the stuff that's going on and the attention to detail that they are involved with these students. It's no longer you walk in the door, the bell rings, and you're teaching and away you go. I mean, that's obviously part of it, but all that other stuff that people don't realize, where they go in and they have the meetings and they evaluate what they're doing and the processes that they're going through in order to make kids do better and learn. And I was really, my first year of teaching, which was in was a long time ago, and it was in elementary school. And from that point on, I was a secondary guy. So I'm getting really educated, and I'm really, really impressed with what goes on in the elementary schools. And it is so gratifying to know that, you know, the hard work that's going into it. And the other thing I want to say, and I'm beating a drum, this is my third meeting, I'm going to say this, is we still got to get people out to go to extracurricular things. Just 2 weeks ago, we had the Miss Northeast High School pageant, and we lost more money than we took in. We spent more money than we took in.
Okay.
We can't even get parents to go
The
see
year.
these kids.
School K.
It just breaks my heart. You know, I'm feeling so good about going to the elementary schools and seeing all this good stuff, and then I'm going and seeing the secondary, and these kids are up there pouring their heart and soul out to perform and do things, and I look in the audience and we can't even meet expenses. And it's sad. And I really am going to keep pushing it until we get people, well, I can't say that in public, but we got to get people to go out and, you know, become a part of that. Hey, spend an hour and a half, 2 hours at the most, go to these functions. You will be pleasantly surprised. And that's all I have, Madam Chair. Thank you.
They can go to Dunedin High tonight. It's district playoffs for basketball.
There you go.
And I'll give you a deal for the concession stand, but you gotta go in and yell. I didn't say
That's where you
that.
make the money, though.
Well, you know, we maybe can, but get out there and yell for our boys, because they've really worked hard. So I expect you there, Mr. Dudley.
Just a
You and I,
few-
we can yell together.
Just a few comments. I want to thank Megan. I don't see her here with PCC PTA, but they contributed some holiday toys and provided me with $350 in gift cards to give to the family of the young lady who was slain while sitting on her porch eating breakfast. I want to thank the city of St. Petersburg for assisting the grandmother who now has custody of those children. She was able to get a 4-bedroom place so that she could take in all of the children so they would not have to be separated. I had a chance to go by and visit Miss Ola because I wanted to wait until she got moved and got situated and take the items. So Megan's not here. I sent her a text and I took some pictures because I wanted them to see. Reagan, I'm sorry. Reagan Miller, thank you. Reagan Miller, thank you. But I took the things over there, so I'm very grateful, and I did not want today to go by without publicly acknowledging their help and support for reaching out. I also want to thank the teachers from Fairmount Park Elementary who stepped up for the younger siblings that attend that school. They were absolutely fabulous in embracing that family and support, so thank you for doing that. I also want to thank those schools that are participating in the Valentines for Vets. I sent out an email asking for those schools or teachers that wanted to participate if they would consider it. All they have to do is just have the students make a Valentine card and address it to a veteran, not a specific name. And Congressman Charlie Chris will have them delivered to the various veterans on Valentine's Day. So some veterans may not have family, but this is going to be absolutely fabulous. And I think he and his entourage were at Pasadena because I saw a picture of him. Yeah, yesterday I saw a picture of Bob Puth and the congressman and whatnot. And he's very thankful. So I want to thank everybody for that. Any teachers that are listening, it's not too late to participate. You can have your students make the Valentine's cards, whoever wants to participate. Contact me and I will get you the email address so you can let them know. His staff will have someone come pick them up so you don't have to worry about transporting them. So thank you so very much for that. I want to say thank you to Eckerd College. We had the unfortunate incident with Lakewood High School's gym catching on fire, but Eckerd College has been allowing the use of their gym. I had an opportunity to go to one of the games. It was very spirited, but the staff there was very nice and everything. So I want to thank them for that partnership. Who knows, maybe they could try to recruit a couple of people out of that. I don't know. I want to just share with my colleagues. I've had a number of people, because I went out like, you all need to participate in the the Career and Technical College intern program. So quite a few have come on board. I've directed them over to the Education Foundation so they could be present for the information session. Mr. Rupel, who owns an insurance company, but he also is the president of the R Club board, he was so excited. His team had already reached out, and he's kind of like my free marketing person now because he's out telling everybody. So I know Ms. Kane spoke with her husband and whatnot, so thank you, everybody. I think we're going to have more than the number of businesses that we even said we needed in order to be able to assist the students. So I'm really excited about that. That's going very good. When I was at Lakewood High School, I spoke to, it was about 5 classes, and just talking about civic responsibility and how the decisions that they make in high school can ultimately affect them for the rest of their lives. It is unfortunate that sometimes we do hold things against people. We don't remember all the good things. It's that one bad thing, and that's what kind of comes to our mind. So I just really tried to talk to them about that. And I put some questions out there into the audience, and we had quite a few students that were on their P's and Q's when it came to what's going on in the government today. So I promised them I would give them a little treat. So I drove 5 $20 Visa gift cards down to Lakewood for their teachers to distribute to the ones that answer the questions. So students, if somebody shows up and they are asking you to participate, you may want to do that. It could just turn out to be a good little treat for you along the line. The Interministerial Alliance is an organization that used to be very, very active, and they really supported education. They had volunteers to go in. And then like some organizations, you know, you have people that come and go, so it kind of went down a little bit. But now they're back and fully organized and fully energized. I want to thank Reverend J.C. Pritchett for taking the helm on that. They just completed what they call Legacy Week, and Legacy Week is an opportunity to showcase to the community those heroes and sheroes that don't get recognition, but they're doing some absolutely marvelous things in the community. So I just wanted to publicly thank them for reorganizing, coming back into our schools, having that dialogue and conversation. They had a community discussion that included every aspect of government, representatives from the county commission, education, community groups, city council, the city council of St. Pete. They had those individuals come out, and the people from the community can just ask whatever question they want to ask and receive information if they can. So I want to thank them for that. I'm always asking, and all of us are always asking for volunteers, mentors. So they've stepped up and answered that call. So I want to say thank you for that. And yes, the month of February, the shortest month in the year, 28 days, is Black History Month. And while it may be only 28 days, I know that we could have close to 100 individuals that we could give thanks and appreciation for every single day in those 28 days. There are so many people that have done so much, and I will tell you, every year I learn more about my heritage, and I hope I don't get in trouble for saying this, but my people. I learn more about individuals who I did not know historically, the things that they've done and the contributions made, because maybe they weren't put in a history book at the time. But individuals are starting to do more and more research when it comes to education, when it comes to science, when it comes to agriculture. I love the push that we have for our technical trades. But as I sat through one session and started listening very intently, just to know that Florida A&M started because minorities at one point had only technical trades that they could really venture into when it came to owning their own businesses or providing needs for minority communities at that time. So this is my moment in African American history and Black History Month. And so I just wanted to share that while we look at the Shirley Chisholms of the world and the Barbara Jordans of the world, when we look at those who forged issues as it related to the civil rights era, we think of Dr. Martin Luther King, but we also need to think of Bayard Rustin, who's really the founder of the movement that said we would not be violent in our ask, but we certainly would take individuals to task for us to have the freedoms and enjoy what it is that the United States of America had to offer. I am even more so encouraged that we have people right here in our community right now whose names are not called, but they are doing the very same thing. They are setting the pace for a moment in time. And I know that down the road, we will utter their names in the annals of Black history. So that is my Black History moment. And I thank everybody for all of your comments and everything that you've said on today. Moving on to a review of any board requests. Do we have any board requests?
Madam Chair, we have no board requests today.
And I didn't forget you this time. No board requests. All right, so I'm going to adjourn the meeting. We will have our school board evaluation process immediately following the meeting. So once I adjourn, we will go back over to Ms. Simonetti, where she will call in the speakers that we have for this afternoon. And again, thank you all so very much for all that you do for our students. This meeting is now adjourned. Ms. Simonetti?
Board members and Dr. Grego, we have 5 speakers this morning under general public comments. Our first 2 are Joe Morgan and Lenora Faulkner.
Good morning, honored school board members, Dr. Grego. A life is not important except in the impact it has on other lives. Jackie Robinson. What kind of impact do you want to have, Dr. Grego and Pinellas County School Board members? Do you want your noble quest to educate our children to include race-based wage theft? Stealing from low-wage workers? I would like to think better of you. In honor of Black History Month, how about honoring one of our Black employees, Mrs. Ethel Faison? By returning the month of pay the district took from her based on her race. 2 other women, both white, were paid in full in the exact same circumstances as hers. Another driver, me, Joe Morgan. Please Google Joe Morgan school bus crash, who nearly lost his life in one of the most horrific school bus crashes in Pinellas County history, was required to pay $19,000 of medical bills from the crash. This despite the fact that he was totally disabled from the accident and the crash was through no fault of his own. To add insult to injury, my car insurance went up as a result. This was also not reimbursed by the district. Where is your morality in response to this outrage? Dr. Grego, school board members. Before every school board meeting, we recite the Pledge of Allegiance to the American flag. Part of that pledge is for liberty and justice. Where's justice for poverty wage school bus drivers? May God forgive you for your theft and mistreatment of Pinellas County school bus drivers. To the new board members, I urge you to help this body turn the page and do right. To everyone who hears my voice, please post this information on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and other social media. Call your board members and Dr. Grego, 727-588-6000, and demand that they correct this injustice. Contact me, Joe Morgan, Coalition of Pinellas County School Bus Drivers, with any questions. 727-443-2330. I hope that no other bus drivers have to go what I went through, and I hope this ends with me.
Normally, we don't say anything, but I cannot allow Black History Month and an African-American woman to be utilized or to have information that's inappropriate or not correct. Pinellas County Schools does not withhold pay based on your race. And I truly believe that when things like that do not go addressed when they are said, it diminishes items that deal with race-based issues or our social issues and concerns throughout this country, because we are now looking at a general spectrum rather than the individual decision. So, no one paid me to say that. This is Renee Flowers. I'm not speaking on behalf of anybody else up here, but I will not sit idly by and allow anyone to say anything and to utilize an African American to further their cause with information that is not fact-based or accurate. This district does not withhold pay because you are Black, Hispanic, Mexican, Asian, Italian, or Caucasian. Thank you.
Good morning, Dr. Grego and honorable school board members. I am a professional educator, graduated from the University of Florida 50 years ago. I'm certified in biology, chemistry, math, science, health education, middle schools, and the gifted. And I was deeply honored to teach at Pinellas Park Middle for 10 years. I was, the year before the Florida lottery, the students won the Florida lottery. But in 1992, as a new teacher, I lost my job because we went from 7 periods to 6 periods. I always make a positive out of a negative. And I asked the superintendent to send me to college for a year in computers. I took 21 hours at St. Pete College and 4 hours in a graduate course at USF in Tampa. So but I am very concerned about computers. I went to a meeting at Osceola Middle, and one of the politicians was there. I thought there was going to be 100 people, but there were only 15 with Dr. Gessner. And I kept asking him, he had a thick stack of papers on the pork in our government, and he wanted us to get rid of the pork, and I wanted him to find the lottery money, and he got very angry with me, and he said, if you email me, I am going to delete you because I only deal with groups in that. And then I read Scientific America, where between 2013 and 2018, a solar flare can hit and we lose all our data. So to solve this problem, I gave away my laptop in 2003. So when I die, I'm going to be the only thing in the inbox. But I researched the corporate takeover of public education, and it's going to the president of the University of Florida very soon. And I'm very concerned about the repeal of Common Core, and the person that started HB 7069, he's now our Secretary of Education. And I just have to pray for the students in the state of Florida. God bless you all. I love Pinellas Park Middle. And I did bring a letter here in 2003 that the school board hasn't responded to. And I will pray for them too. God bless you all.
Our next two speakers are Talmadge Andrews and Amanda Stern.
Good morning, school board and Dr. Grego. My name is Talmadge Andrews. I have 31 plus years as a employee of Pinellas County Schools. 21 of those were as a bus driver. I sympathize with Joe and some of the things that he said, and I disagree with some of the things he said. But I want to congratulate the school board. As I sat here today, I had no thoughts about what I needed to say to y'all. But I wanted to talk about some of the complaints that I have received, and I gave it to Mr. Herbic, and he's going to distribute them to you. It's about Clearwater compound. But as I sat in the audience, and we got the tentative agreement with the teachers, and then we had the item, non-consent item, requesting approval for purchase of school safety and pooling. I just wanted to congratulate the school board on one thing that we have all, as a union, have been trying to get for the last 10 years or so, that uniforms be granted to plant operators. As a bus driver, we gave up our pants when we got in our contract, our uniform, and we gave up the pants for that. We only had the shirt or the top uniform. In our contract this year, we got those plant operators' uniforms because the safety of all your schools are involved with that plant operator or that head plant operator. And that person knows everything that goes on in that school and where things are. They were not recognized. You could have walked on any school campus and you would not find the plant operator. Now that we have gotten shirts or uniform tops for those people, I appreciate the effort that y'all have given us. Ms. Texel and school board, I can only say thank you again, and I appreciate everything that you have done in our new contract.
Good morning, board members. My name is Amanda Stern, and I'm speaking on behalf of my fellow parents that are with me, as well as the many that could not attend this meeting. Our concern lies with the fact that Dr. Dallas Jackson was placed in the position of leader of school district's teacher recruitment after 17 months of failure as principal of John Hopkins Middle School. We are parents that unfortunately had to experience this. Forgive me saying this, but it was sheer hell, quite honestly. We have a couple questions, which I understand on this platform may be open-ended, but we are curious as to what qualifications he has to be placed in this position of recruitment. Is he the final decision maker as far as placing teachers, principals, assistant principals, all administrators? And basically, what is the process? What does he have to do with this? Forgive me, I'm kind of tongue-tied right now, but I know that you guys might not be able to answer these right now, but we really did feel the need to have our voices heard. It's very disheartening, everything that we've had to go through. I appreciate you listening to us. And I just wanted to say real quickly, I saw that on the agenda, the vision of the Pinellas County Schools is 100% student success, and your mission is educate and prepare each student for a college career in life. But my fear is that leaving someone that I feel was not appropriate to be placed in a position of leadership, now he is in charge of placing people to educate our children. I fear that these missions and the vision will not be accomplished. Thank you.
Our last speaker this morning is Mark Clutho.
Mark Clutho, Largo. Can't believe some of the things I hear. The superintendent says he's going to end off. You just end it. And the chair says, an email. It's an email. And the superintendent says, business, describing the schools. This is not a business. Education is not a business. This is pathetic. And I hear in Long Island, when you're talking about an island, you're on an island. You're not in it. You're always on an island. So, getting back to this hot streak, this article says 18 of the 19 warmest years since record keeping began, they've occurred since 2001. That means kids graduating from high school have only known a world of record-breaking temperatures. And, here's the graph showing you what's happening. And this is the world that you were bringing. The sixth extinction in unnatural history. Because you fools are ignoring science. It is literally criminal. That's what it is. Malfeasance. Your buildings are monstrosities. Ha. I mean, you know, when you can't even get the language right, and you're supposed to be in charge of teaching, well, I guess it's going to be a problem getting the science right. So, you know, it'll be your legacy.
We'll close out today's meeting with a very inspirational quote. Every child deserves a champion, an adult who will never give up on them, who understands the power of connection and insists that they become the best that they can possibly be. That is from Rita F. Pearson. Thank you all for attending. This ends our meeting.